class 10th. Today let us read this poem How to Tell Wild Animals by Carolyn Wells. In this poem, the poet has told us how to identify the different wild animals. Suppose if you go in a jungle by chance, there would be different wild animals you will meet in the forest. How to identify them and how to distinguish between them. Here it is told in the poem. Let us read the paragraphs one by one and enjoy the poem. The poem is too humorous. You will enjoy it definitely. The first stanza. If ever you should go by chance to jungles in the east. The poet says that suppose by chance you need to go to the jungles of the east on the earth, eastern part of the earth. And there, if should to you advance a large and tawny beast. And in those jungles in the eastern part, there comes a big beast, large and tawny. Tawny means brown colored. Beast, animal, comes in front of you. That means advance means it comes in front of you. If he roars at you as you are dying, you will know it is the Asian lion. Enjoy the rhyming, students. The poet says, if that beast, if that large animal roars at you and you are so frightened by its roar, then you should understand it is none other than the Asian lion. Coming to the next stanza, or if sometime when roaming round a noble wild beast greets you. Okay, suppose now sometime when you are roaming round, you are just roaming in the jungle. A noble wild beast greets you. If suppose a noble, a beautiful looking, a royal looking beast that is wild, the animal, greets you, he comes in front of you. Then with black stripes on a yellow ground. And how is that animal identified? He is standing on the yellow ground with black stripes, means stripes on its back. If you remember in the last poem, Tiger in the Zoo, the tiger had black stripes. Then it is completely clear here that it must be a tiger. Just notice if he eats you and if he is just about to attack you. This simple rule may help you learn that the Bengal tiger to discern. Discern means you should identify. To discern means to identify that it is a Bengal tiger. This identify word to discern is kept at the last of the line so that it can make a rhyming with this learn. Now coming to the next stanza. If strolling forth a beast you view, whose hide with spots is peppered. See the words here. If strolling forth. Strolling means moving forward. Forth means forward. Strolling forth a beast, a wild animal. You see whose hide, H-I-D-E, hide here means skin, is covered. Peppered means covered with spots. The poet here says that if you move further and you see a big animal whose skin is covered with spots, as soon as he has leapt on you, just you must notice it just before it leaps. Leapt is the second form of leap. It jumps upon you. You will know it is the leopard. Yes, students, you know leopard skin is covered with spots and it is known for leaping, means jumping. 'Twill do you do no good to roar with pain. 'Twill means it will do no good. To roar with pain means it is not good to you. It will not do anything good to you. It will just roar and it will bring you terror. He will only leap and leap again. Its work is to jump and attack. The next stanza, students. If when you are walking round your yard, you meet a creature there. If suppose you are just walking in your own space, yard, you can meet a creature there. What type of creature? Let's see. That creature means who hugs you very, very hard. Be sure it is a bear. Yes, students, the bear is a big animal. It is again a wild beast. And what does it do? It doesn't eat you first. It will hug you. It will embrace you in its arms so hard that you will die. If you have any doubts, I guess he will give you just one more caress. If you have any doubts means until you die. If you have any doubt that you can move away from there, it will again give you one more caress, one more hug. And that hug, that loving touch is called caress. And students, this word caress is not directly related to death because it is used as a irony in the sentence. The irony means when you are doing something, when you are speaking something but meaning something else. That means hug is used positively normally, but in this stanza bear will give you a tight embrace that you can be killed by it. Come to the next stanza, students. Though to distinguish between beasts of prey, a novice might nonplus. In this stanza, the poet says that if you need to distinguish, means differentiate between the beast of prey, means wild animals that prey. Prey means hunt. A novice might nonplus. Novice means a person who is new at this. Might get confused. Nonplus means confused. So here the poet says that if we meet the two animals, we can get easily confused because we are new to these animals. What are those animals? The crocodile. You always may tell from the hyena thus. Hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. Here the poet says that if you see crocodile or hyena, you can understand by the merry smiles of hyenas. Hyena is a wild animal again. So if they smile, if this animal seems you smiling, you should understand you are meeting a hyena. And if you see an animal who is weeping, but if they weep, they are always crocodiles. Coming to the last stanza now. The true chameleon is small, a lizard sort of thing. So chameleon is a general creature we see in our gardens and the parks. So the poet here says the true chameleon is small, a lizard sort of thing. Chameleon is just like a lizard. It is another category of a lizard. He hasn't any ears at all. Yes, students, it is coming into the category of reptiles. So it doesn't have ears. It has just holes in place of ears. And not a single wing. It doesn't fly. If there is nothing on the tree, this the chameleon you see. If in a jungle, you see nothing on a tree, no creature on the tree, you must guess there is a chameleon. So you should know that chameleon is known to change the colors according to its surroundings, and it must be there when you see nothing on a tree because it has been camouflaged in the bark of the tree. Students, now discuss about these poetic devices used in the poem. These are the devices which are frequently asked in your exams. So alliteration, the first one. Alliteration, as you should know, that it is a figure of speech when first letter of consequent words or in a line, two words having first letters similar and the sound similar. So we can see here roaming round was the word here, roaming round. Or if sometime when roaming round, that means it is used as alliteration. Coming to the next, repetition. lap, hugs, heart. These are the words which are repeated in the poem. That's why repetition is the poetic device in which the words are repeated or the lines are repeated. Let us see those words. You can see here, he will only lap and lap again. It is repeating. And you can find out so many words which would have been repeated here. You and you in the same paragraph. Coming to the next poetic device, that is humor. In the beginning I have told you that humor is used in the complete poem. How? That the poet has humorously defined all the wild animals through this poem. Irony, students, just now we studied that whenever you want to say something but it is something else, that is irony. In the poem, you must have seen noble wild beast. That noble wild beast, who was he? It was a Bengal tiger.